Europcar's Keith shorter by name only, but it doesn't work anymore because you just stole it. Anyway, Keith is the V&T director for the UK. His homepage is overseeing everything to do with ICE, internal combustion engines, and electric vans, from fleet mix, product, pipeline, network specialist, fleet, and the bottom line, P&L, which is probably the most important. Fun fact, guilty confession. He still owns and runs his own diesel Mercedes Sprinter van. He used it to build his 4-bedroomed off-grid eco house in Poland, as per previous fun fact, back in May 24, and has now converted it to an off-grid camper. But it is all solar-powered, 1,000 watts off the roof to redeem himself. And that's 1,000 watts off the roof.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Watts.
In a van.
A battery bank as well.
Nice. Yeah. So I think we can let you off, to be honest. I think.
As long as I don't drive it anywhere, I'm fine.
Yeah, I think if you're going to have a diesel Sprinter van, probably the way to do it.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show again.
So, Keith, you're a man who knows a van, and Europcar have got a phenomenal proposition in terms of price parity and the range of vehicles that you have available for fleets. Talk to us about some of the things you've learned about vans in your time at Europcar.
Okay, so good afternoon all. First of all, I think we'll focus on for sort of actionable insights. I mean, today is from us is around about our sustainability report 2025, just out in partnership with the EV Cafe and obviously then with the BBLRA, part of that. So we are a data-driven business, as you know. So I'll share some insights on what we've learned, and hopefully that will help the members of the webinar on what they can learn. And another shameless plug, the report is downloadable on the EV, on our page on the EV Cafe webpage. So please go ahead and download it. So
just getting the link.
I will caveat that though there is a foreword by Paul Kirby and probably the most challenging page 3 photos that I've seen. But let's get into the data. So in terms of, just wanted to pick up on one of James's points earlier on the why. And we all know, and we've discussed earlier, the CFO is probably going to be as influential as the CEO. But what we found as well is HR departments, property managers, all have their say in that charging infrastructure in terms of the driver's contracts, etc. So you can wind it back, and I've mentioned this once before on one of your panels, is that why are we doing it? If you're trying to get a simple measure, is the clean air outside our schools, where our children walk in and out. This, that is tangible, not just to the CFO crunching his calculator, but to the people in the room that you've also got to convince on the EV journey. So that's just a little an actionable insight from myself, is bring everybody on board with a simple story.
Yeah.
So what have we learned? And touching on James again with the 80 miles average van usage, which is we see around the same. In our survey, the top reason and barriers for LCV, the top reason 29% still comes out on the availability of charging points, which is crazy when you think if you're only doing 80 miles and all of the vans in the marketplace, 30 different BEV model vans out there, over 30 from the OEMs now, all do more than that, double, triple that in the current climate. So we were surprised to see the availability of charging points still comes out that high up in correspondence to the range the vehicles are actually doing on a daily basis. 27% cited the purchase cost. I think that's pretty much a standard across. A change of technology is always going to be more expensive. In third place was the insurance cost, increased insurance costs on business. And that came out over the reduced productivity worries at 24%. So I'd have thought productivity concerns about the charging and about the transition would be higher up. But if you're actually asking fleet managers, it's the insurance cost more for an EV than an ICE vehicle that is up there in third place. One we all agree with, in 23% charging costs. I don't think anyone argues that if you're going to use the public network, and if you have to use the public network in your daytime, then charges costs. But only 22% is battery range. So if you're thinking about the battery range versus the availability of charging points, that doesn't quite add up in what we're being fed back. And lastly, suitable vehicles is only 20% and payload is down at 13% and the impact it has. And I think that's partly because of the types of business that have already transitioned are the low payload empty box carriers. So it's not affecting them, whereas it will affect, and it is affecting some of our customers we're working with at the moment in terms we want to carry 800 kg everywhere they go, and a second driver for health and safety reasons because they're working in dangerous environments. So I think that will creep up the list as we go forward and more people come across. What else did we learn? Well, apart from the 5 million vans in the UK and the 30 different models, we've had the 37% growth in charging infrastructure. So that's really good. And that takes away the top barrier slowly but surely, and it'll eat into that. Interestingly, 72% of businesses are affected or by the clean air zone, or will be over the next 3 years. But worryingly, and we were talking about education earlier and what you can do, and Sam mentioned it earlier about as an actionable insight, 38% of our businesses said they weren't confident that they fully knew the rules or the upcoming clean air zones that are going to affect them. So if there's 72% of businesses are going to be affected and 38% aren't clear, there's an education piece there, which is an actionable insight, because you need to get and know what's coming to your space. My favourite fact, if I have one, my favourite fact is in the next 3 years, 51% of drivers, not fleet managers, are expecting to go into an e-van. So the perception on the ground is 51% of van drivers are expected to, in the next 3 years, to be transitioned to an e-van. And I think that also corresponds to another little piece of data, and I know this is a bit data-led, is that we're leading the way in the UK, clearly leading the way over Europe. The fleet managers we've surveyed, 40% of companies expect to go fully electric in the next 3 years. That's across cars and vans. It's not van specific, but in Europe that comes back at 20%. Pretty even, and that's in pure BEV. Around about 7 to 9% of both Europe and UK expect to go FEV in that mix. And 7% hydrogen in the UK. 7% I think in the next 3 years hydrogen, which I think is a little bit
best of luck.
Yeah. I mean, you may get the vehicle, but you might not have anything to put in it. But
what makes you think you'll get the vehicle?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but that just I think there's that little uncertainty out there about what the future looks like. And I think also about keeping an open mind as well. So I think from that, I think that's probably the key points that I wanted to pick out around some of the insights. I wanted to pick up a little bit about us walking the walk along with our customers and alongside with the EV Cafe, etc. So when an actionable insight and the things that we're doing here at Europcar. So we've now completed 28,000 miles on e-bikes for our delivery and collection. That's 2,000 kg of CO2. Over 1 million miles we've just reached in D&C delivery and collection in our electric vehicles. So that's another 78,000 kg of CO2, and the company cars now over 1.2 million miles in electric company cars. So that gives us the insight. We've got our own experts as well. Things you might not consider: green parts. We've just completed now to over 2,100 refurbished parts, bought and recycled. And all of that adds up to 168 tonnes of CO2 saved so far, which is clearly identified on how we've done it item by item in the report. So if you're looking for insights on how you can make small incremental changes to your business without even the vehicles, these are the things you can do. Little fun fact, that saving in CO2 is equivalent to 20 million smartphone charges. So
pretty much a week for me.
So, I'm not mentioning which brand you might have, but if you've got my particular brand, I thought I'll probably get through that by Christmas. So, and for ourselves as well, 70% of our network has on-site charging now, but 100% has access with nearby superchargers and hubs, etc. And we're restructuring our network now to larger sites. Obviously, we've got the same property restrictions that some businesses will face, where you can't get electric into that site, or you need to rescale to a larger site to give ourselves a bit more depth. So, in terms of practical, I think we've at Europcar have always tried to lead the way on come and try before you choose which vehicle you want, and across the cars and the vans, that is still an aim of ours to be that go-to place. An OEM will give you 72 hours at best to trial a vehicle. You can have it from us from a commitment from obviously 72 hours upwards to 2-3 months, 6 months, however long you want it, 2 years. To support that transition, we have the digital EV guide, well advertised on here in the past, the digital knowledge hub, an in-life app now dedicated to EVs, not just ICE, so it's an EV only educated. We still also let you take the vehicle. We will supply the vehicle with over 80% charge and let you bring it back with 20% charge. So
brilliant.
Have a journey on us. And 93% of our customers have an EV tariff now. So that's a really encouraging move for us because there's demand for that. And obviously, as you led with at the start of the show, on our B2B standard products, we still offer ICE for EV van parity on pricing. So we're taking away the objections to charging, because you may not even have to look for a charge in the period of time that you want to use the vehicle for. We're making it simple that, yes, upfront costs of EVs are dearer, but we're not passing that on to our customer base.